Okay, today we're going to start with, continue with the distributive property, but this time you're going to see more distributive property with exponents, and maybe some situations we're going to have to use the distributive property twice. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, just to cover our bases from video 1, the distributive property is when you take the outside number times the first one, plus the outside number times the second one. So if we have this uh, example right here, we're going to take the outside number, which is 2 times 4, to give us 8. We bring our minus sign down, and then 2 times 5 gives us 10. Okay, so let's go ahead and apply that then to some problems. As you can see, one of the differences is now we've got not only distributive property, but we also have another term out in front of it. So first thing we're going to do is when we see these parentheses with the 2 out in front is we need to think distributive property, so we need to distribute that. We're going to get 2 times x, which gives us 2x. Bring the plus sign directly down. 2 times 3 gives us 6. And then we're also going to bring our 7x straight down. Now we should be able to do our circling of each term. We always want to bring the sign out in front. And after we circle it, we're going to be adding. What can we combine? We can combine these two because they're similar terms. 7 plus 2 gives us 9x. Since there's nothing that it matches with 6, we bring it straight down. And so that original term simplifies down to 9x plus 6. Now, if we want to look at example number 2, it's a similar example. This time we have a subtraction. And this kind of makes things a little bit difficult. When you're looking at distributive property and you have this subtraction here, you need to think of it as almost adding a negative 2. And so that this is a negative 2 being distributed. So if you want to think of it as this minus being a negative 2, and it's going to be negative 2 times x plus negative 2x times 4, you can. Either way works. So I'm going to take this, we're taking this whole thing. Negative 2x times x gives us negative 2. But the difference, another new thing is we have now x times x. When you have x times x, that gives us x squared. It's just like when you write x times x, we're saying that there's 2 of them. When you write 2 times 2 when we did exponents, another way to write that exponentially is 2 to the second power. Same concept here. Now we take our negative 2x times 4, and we get, we're going to add a negative 8x, and then bring our 2x squared down. We need to take our signs. What can we combine? Well, we can combine these two. 2 minus 2 is 0, so we're simply left with negative 8x. Looking at another problem. Now this is a case where we can obviously see they're starting to get more difficult. In this situation, we have 2 distributive properties, and we need to distribute each one before we can actually start combining like terms. So let's start with, don't even look at the second one, just start with the first one. We have 2 times x, and we get 2x, plus 2 times x squared, and we get 2x squared. Now we can look at the second one. We're going to have plus 3 times x, which is 3x, plus 3 times 4, which gives us 12. Now we circle each term and bring the sign that's in front of it. We need to add these terms together to combine them. So which ones can we combine? We can combine the 2x and the 3x because they are like terms. 2 plus 3 is 5x. Can we combine the 2x squared with anything? No. So we're going to write that down, and we also can't combine the 12, so we're going to leave that there. For now, this is a good enough answer. We'll call it good. In the future, we're going to show you how to rewrite this so that it's in a better notation form. But for now, that's kind of what we're looking for. And then our final example makes it even harder. It's kind of a combination between the last 2 examples. Again, we're only going to look at the first one to start off with. So let's look here. But now we have the y times y again. And remember, when you have y times y, it's the same as like 3 times 3 or 4 times 4. We can rewrite those all exponentially to get y to the second power, 3 to the second power, 4 to the second power, and so on. So y times y, instead of just putting y, we're actually going to put y to the second power. Plus y times 4, we're going to put 4y. Be careful, use proper notation. We don't want to see y4. Make sure you use a commutative property to switch it over. And now we're going to look at the second half. We have 2 times y squared, which we get 2y squared, minus 2 times 5 to get 10. Now we circled each term and the sign out in front of it. Which ones can we do? Combine? Well, remember we can combine these two because they both have the same variables and exponents. When there's not a coefficient out in front, we know that it has to be 1. So 1 plus 2 gives us 3y to the second power. Can we combine the 4y with anything? No, so we bring it straight down. And same thing with the minus 10. We circle our answer, and we're good. I hope that helped you with your understanding of the distributive property. Good luck.